That is the old record that belongs to Kepianixian. And that was set in the Athens World Championships, which was 170.5. But Zhelyashkov, it's definitely a this year performance.
Right.
Anyway, Manironi now hails from the Italian capital, Rome.
Well, in real trouble. 2 failures. So has to succeed with his 3rd attempt.
His best European performance, well, that came in '99 at La Coruña. Again, remembering that he was in the higher weight category, but he was 7th in Europe then, and snatched 157.5 kilos, weighing in at 82.10 on that particular occasion. So just looking ahead at 1 or 2 others, well, having a look at the board here. So we can see Mehmet there with 160 kilos as a starter on the snatch. Little Bulgarian contingent waiting to see how Zlatan Vanev is going to fare tonight. And it will be good news, David. I mean, if the Bulgarians are in good condition, and we're told they are, then this is going to be a very good fight, and Perepechenov is going to be rightfully nervous of them. So, change of lifter. Vasily Hezidus of Romania about to start.
145 kilos is first start.
So the young Romanian coming in with 145 kilos.
Yeah, it's 5th in Europe last year. Totaled out 330.5, 8th in the world with 330.
Very good.
Well, he did 150 in the World Championships in November, Hezidus. So a chance now to maybe improve on that. He's got a PB of 155. Interestingly, you've got to go back to 1999 for him on that PB. He did it in the Junior European Championships in Spala. And his clean and jerk best also came in that year at the Junior World Championships in Savannah when he clean and jerked 185, and that gave him his, in Spala he got his best total 335. He's announced today 332.5, so...
335 or 3?
No, he's a 332.5 is his announced total.
And his best is
335. But that,
so he did the 55 and the 85 in different competitions.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But Suli, Artan Suli, well, I'm afraid failure is no stranger for this man. In the World Championships, he tried 150 on 3 occasions, and he failed all 3 snatches. And the clean and jerk, he didn't get one of those either, David.
So the young Turk weighed in at 71.90. Normally lifts in the 69 kilo category, but of course there are 2 very, very strong Turks in the 69 kilo category, so deciding to put him in at 77. I wonder if that's just if he's actually deciding to move into the 77 kilo class, so they're just trying him out here.
Yeah, could be. He's generally, if you look down his record, you see that his better performances come in the first half of the competition in the snatch. So he's got to make this count here.
But what I'm saying is he normally lifts at 60, 69, doesn't he?
Yeah, He does, yeah, but nonetheless, all the stats suggest he's going to be better at this particular discipline. He's already been a European bronze medalist in his time. That was in Sofia a couple of years ago. Go back to the mid-90s, and his progress was really interrupted. He broke his arm back in 1995, but by 1999 he proved himself to be the best lifter at the Junior European Championships.
Yes, he's in that sort of position period now where he's gradually got to get his weight up to 77 kilo plus.
Here's a man who a year ago was in the sports hall at Trenčín, where the last European Championships were held. That's his hometown, and 1:45 to start. Now, by my reckoning, David, he's right on his personal best, and he's another man who's moving up. 69 kilos at the World Championships, where he snatched 137.5 kilos. So this move up to 77, interesting to see how it suits him.
And the world record on the board at the back has now been changed to the 172.5.
So it'll be the Albanian to come in, the man who's been struggling in recent times in major competitions. 6 failures at the World Championships here last November. 31 years of age. So near the end rather than the beginning of his career. Well, that's 2 failures, and I really hope, David, that somehow he's not going to end up having a second successive major competition with no success at all. Because there's no doubt that consistently failing sets up a mental block which is then enormously difficult to overcome. They need to get him into a competition where he starts to achieve and regain his confidence.
And here's another man who's had 2 failures, decided to increase the weight to 145 to buy himself some time.
He's been quite successful in the minor competitions in his time, like the European Union Championships. He's twice been a winner in his weight class in that. A little bit of experience coming into play there, and he saves the day and still has a chance of walking away from Antalya with a total.
Yes, went in the back room, really got his head together. That's more like it.
Got to applaud his appetite at the age of 35, David, because, you know, even lifting this sort of weight requires immense commitment and, you know, dedication, daily training. Now, Suli, let's try and get on his side, shall we? So many Albanians over the years, David, have found themselves in other national teams, most notably Greece. I don't think he's got any confidence at all in himself.
Well, he's had 9 attempts on the international stage and 9
in 6
failures.
months, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's the weight. I mean, he just doesn't have the technique, but he doesn't have the belief or the confidence of being able to execute the lift. I don't know what you do in that situation. I suppose you go and take the whole thing apart and rebuild it.
Yeah, I think what you do is you start him at a weight that is very, very easy for him, and then build with each attempt. I think they're coming in quite heavy, and he's finding the pressure at this stage a little bit too much.
Romanian, the youngest man in tonight's field, now on stage. 150 still the weight on the bar. And that's all very nice, but it doesn't lead the competition. And the reason for that is that Christoforidis of Greece, who lifted a little earlier today in the B ranking group, actually ended up snatching 152.5 kilos, weighed in at 76 kilos exactly, and currently he is at the head of the snatch rankings. Also worth mentioning young Sean Trebilcock for Great Britain, David, who I think acquitted himself rather well today. He snatched 120 kilos, added 155 on the jerk to give himself a total of 275.
That's right, and that was a new British record at the age of 17, so somebody to perhaps watch for the future.
Yeah, so well done to Sean for that. Now, Turkey. Yashin Arslan, and that actually takes him up into second place. Still the Greek from the B group. The Greeks were talking about this boy that lifted earlier on today. Sorry, David, you wanted to...
Well, no, I was just saying, it's interesting to watch his sort of attitude, because he's kind of pointing to the weight and pointing to himself, and I think that possibly there were three Turkish lifters who were going to compete in this 69 kilo class, and they obviously decided the other two were a better bet than him. And I think he's perhaps a little bit out, you know, he knows he's not going to win in this weight class because he's obviously not heavy enough, but perhaps he's out to try and beat what his teammates did the day before to kind of prove a point. That's what it looks like anyway.
Well, motivation is an essential part of any sport, and certainly in this game. Now, Lukacs for the Slovak Republic, 150 kilos, his second attempt. And this boy from the B group I was mentioning earlier, David, the Greeks were sort of saying that he's so unpredictable because just last week, I mean, he would have been in the A group on the performances that, you know, that he was putting in, but they didn't feel confident enough to let him go.
Yes, I heard he was doing lifts of 165 and 205, but apparently he's got some, I don't know, some family problems which bother him from time to time.
Lifting's a little like another of the sports that I follow, David, ski jumping, in as much that to actually do your best and achieve, you know, the highest level, you have to be totally clear in your head.
Well, I think that's the same in any sport. If you've got personal things that are bothering you, then it's very, very difficult to stay focused and do your best.
Now, this is the Romanian for his third and final attempt. Hegedus. Now, he weighed in at 76.40, so if he does this, he still won't take the lead. He'll have 152.5 kilos, which equals the Greek, but one or two scalps being taken here. Not pretty, but I think he's going to get away with that. The rotation doesn't matter. It's just a question of keeping your feet steady and in line.
So getting somewhere near his best.
Yes, but he's finished his lifting. In fact, remembering that he's moved up, David, that is a new personal best for him because he's moved up, Lukacs.
Now this is interesting because his teammates yesterday, this young man's teammates, one of them snatched 145 and the other one snatched 150. So I think he's perhaps out to prove something, out to prove with this lift of 152 that maybe they should have picked him.
Yes, it was Arabashioglu who did 150, ended up with the overall bronze medal, and Khalil, the defending European champion, who lost his crown and ended up 6th overall, who only managed to snatch 145.
Well, I think he's proved his point, David. That would have been a silver medal yesterday.
And I must say, excellent crowd in. The auditorium on our left-hand side pretty well full, and about half full on the other side, so this is good atmosphere here for him to lift in. And the Turks have already had a pretty rewarding afternoon with Deria Achikos stealing the gold medal in the women's super heavyweight for the clean and jerk phase. So it's not a bad day at the moment for the host nation. Now Lukacs for Slovakia, 152 and a half. 7.5 kilos up on what he achieved as a 69 kilo lifter. I think this is going to test him, David. ...40 seconds on the clock, so... not under pressure in that sense.
Yes, just too heavy. Not enough power in the back and the legs to get the height needed.
Again, one of the men at the wrong end of the age scale at 32 years of age.
So I think if that dot on the board is anything to go by, that Vanev of Bulgaria, yes, Vanev's the next man out. Vanev not really known for his snatching ability. No, extremely powerful in the clean and jerk.
Absolutely. Markov, they say they can't choose much between these two, so what we'd expect here is Markov to be the better of the two in the snatch, and then Vanev to come powering through in the clean and jerk. He was European champion back in 1998 in Riesa, and if you can remember that, David, he won the competition, and then there was the most painful, well, for him, painful feeling, for us, painful watching as he dislocated his elbow and then miraculously recovered to get back for the World Championships in that year.
Very, very fast lifter. Extremely powerful. It's good.
Well, he snatched 160 in 1998.
Yes, I was watching him earlier on in the week, and what he used to do was clean with a narrow grip and then take his grip out for the jerk. Of course, the theory being that if you have a wider grip, you don't have to chuck the weight as high. But since the two, I believe he had 2 elbow dislocations, he's now changed his technique and he's brought his grip in closer, and you'll notice this later on in the competition. So,
well, here's another seasoned campaigner, 34-year-old Andrzej Kozlovskiy of Poland. 4th in the world back in 1997 before the weight categories were changed. He weighed in at 75 kilos 26 in those days, and he was snatching 162.5 kilos. He's not the force for sure. Actually won the European title back in 1995 with 2 lifts, a 160 and a 200 for 360.
I think he snatched 160 more recently than that, though, has he not? Did he not do it in the
well, he did
World Championship?
Well, he did one. I know he did 162.5 in 99. You're asking about the. I don't. Was he or wasn't he? I don't think
we got the World Championship results to hand.
We do. Just having a.
I was sure he snatched at least 160, and I think he jerked 195, if memory.
No, he was right on 160 in the snatch. He did 160 and 195, 355. So, absolutely right, yeah. So
my memory does still work, just.
Absolutely.
Yes, that was only last year. So he's managing to hold his form reasonably well.
Yeah, Mr. Medal in the Olympic Games back in 1992, 4th, just where you don't want to finish off.
Well, I know all about that.
4th in the World Championships in 1997. Yeah, just that one European title has been the one podium top step. Good evening. You can see us there, right on the extreme left of your picture, top rank behind our good friend Dimitri from Russian television. Hope you're enjoying the weightlifting. Remember our website, www.eurosport.com or www.weightlifting.de. We've had one or two problems getting into the emails today, so we might have to get back to you with answers over the weekend.
I like it.
155. And that pushes Christoforidis of Greece out of the medal positions. The Greek who lifted earlier today in the B group. One or two others worth mentioning. Mika Kasema of Estonia, bad day for him. Failed on all 3 snatches at 125 kilos. And Jose Navarro of Spain, not so bad. 147.5 in the snatch, 180, 327.5. And Christoforidis, we've already mentioned, total 337.5. And that promising performance by Britain's junior Sean Trebilcock, 275. Now, is he on a going day? That's really what we've got to ask here, David. Is Mehmet Yilmaz from Ankara in Turkey? Now, he lifted last year at 85 kilos in the Mediterranean Games in the summer, and at that level he was snatching 170. In Trenchin, 165 at the Europeans.
Easy.
That was a terrific start. Now, this is a man who needs this to get the confidence. I would expect him to do better in this, but that is good.
Yes, good technician. Nice to watch.
And very quiet, very smooth, technically accurate.
Yes, and now in a moment we're going to see a complete contrast in physiques. Remember, these men all weigh within hundredths of a kilo of each other.
Yeah, we're coming to the defending European champion on stage now. This is Oleg Perepechonov from Russia, a world clean and jerk record holder. 175 kilos.
Yes,
in the snatch, he's very, very useful. Now that 175, you might have gulped when I said that, but it's true. He's actually lifted snatch more than world record.
He's taking the tape off of his hands. Oh God!
Well, that was a giveaway, wasn't it?
Really don't know what happened there. Well, any weightlifting enthusiasts out there, just out of interest really, This man has a personal best back squat of 300 kilos. That's with no belt, no knee wraps, nothing. A very, very strong man. Well, as you say, that snatch was...
well, it was there.
Very strange.
I don't know now.
He must have tore his hand in the warm-up.
Yeah.
Taped himself up, gripped the bar, and decided that it didn't feel comfortable. And I can see what they're doing now. He's obviously cut his hand. Look, you can see the blood on the bar. They've got to clean. They can't carry on with the competition. They've cleaned it off or sterilised it for obvious reasons. So he's in real trouble now. When you're Any weightlifters will know this. If you've torn the skin off your hand, it's in the snatch, it's going to be a real problem. In the clean and jerk, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of get away with it. But he's really going to have to go through some pain to succeed with his next two lifts.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a look at him in the back room. I mean, this is all very interesting, watching the bar being clean, but...
Well, I think another thing with this competition is that the bars are brand new, so the knarling is very, very rough, and there's quite a few lifters that can tear calluses.
Well, it'll be Vanev. He's got a bit more time, which is good news for him. That's Perepechonov, because Vanev's going to come in and take 160. Vanev, of course, was European champion not once but twice. Won the title most recently in 2000. That was the European Championship just before the Olympic Games. So cruel to get injured, literally days before the Games. And he was snatching in Sofia then 165.
Yes, this man, if he stays fairly close in the snatches, is so dangerous because of that big clean and jerk.
I'd have almost put money that he was going to stand up from that, David. And still to start, of course, his teammate Georgi Markov, who is a snatch specialist.
Well, Markov actually snatched at the last Olympics, if you remember. He snatched 165 as a 69 kilo lifter. So now lifting at 77, one wonders how much more he can do.
Yeah, Markov, the silver medalist in Sydney, to the great Boevsky, who, if you saw us last night, consummately retained his, or regained, I should say, the European title. By the way, we've got a few highlights of that coming up in the interval between the snatch and the clean and jerk. Some of you missed one or two key lifts last night because of our satellite interruption.
So, can he...
Oh, yes, he can.
So strong.
Yes, and mind over matter, as you say, to block out the pain.
So strong, it's so easy.
The only thing that's a real disappointment, David, is that it's interrupted his sequence here, and now he's going to have a bit of a big question, because if he'd have got the 160, I'm sure we would have been looking at him doing 167.5, probably 170. Now, does he dare to take a 10 kilo increase? Because that's huge.
No,
I don't think he can.
I think a five. I think a five's enough anyway, because I think that you know, we're fully aware of his strength in the clean and jerk, and if you remember in that European Championships, he started on 190 kilos, did it very, very easy for the win, and then took a huge jump to 210 kilos for a world record, and did it with it no problem whatsoever. So not really sure what he is capable of in the clean and jerk.
Well, at the moment it's the Turk Mehmet Yilmaz leads with 160 kilos by virtue of his lighter body weight, 76.30, over Perepechonov, who's currently in second place, with Vanev in third, and now Kozlovskiy, who's currently in fourth place. Now he's got a body weight of 76.85, so this would actually just move him up into third place. and it is his third and final lift. But good for him, he's lifting well tonight.
So 160 again.
Yeah, it's a first failure, but he's come back. The last two have been much, much better, and that was the best of the three. And is in the snatch bronze medal position at the moment. But having said that, Vanev has got one, Markov hasn't even started, and Mehmet Yilmaz has got 2 lifts to go, and Perepechenov has got one.
Markov must be starting on at least 162.5 kilos, because Vanev's now coming out for his third attempt on 160.
Yes, this is in fact his second attempt at this weight, and he weighed in at 76.30. Now that's exactly the same weight as Mehmet Yilmaz, who's got the 160 but still has 2 more attempts. So Yilmaz will still retain the higher placing, even if Vanev will do it. But as you say, this is all about keeping him in touch.
Yes, we never expected him to be winning after the snatch.
Now he's got an even bigger mountain to climb, because he's down at 155 and he could find himself 10 kilos. I'm not going to write him off, David, but it's becoming more difficult.
Yes, and I bet he doesn't like losing those weights behind, especially with that elbow, or those 2 elbow dislocations that he's had in the past.
So Georgi Markov, 162.5 kilos on the bar.
Number 6, Georgi.
He actually, David, was quite keen to be sold off to Qatar, but they've not let him go. As many of you know, the sale of the century, I suppose we'd call it, before the World Championships in Athens, saw what, 8 or 9 Bulgarians go off for about $1 million to Qatar. Qatar, who will be hosting the 2005 World Championships. In fact, it was a Qatar lifter, former Bulgarian, now known as Nada Sufan Abbas, who won the World Championship ahead of Perepechenov here in November. The new leader, quiet and economical, biding his time, 2 more to go, but he might need every kilo he can get, because they're going to come back at him in the clean and jerk. But if he can get to 170, which would put him 15 kilos ahead of the likes of Vanev, if he could do that, David, then maybe he could end up in an overall medal position. But Mehmet Yilmaz.
Yes, I believe this is his personal best. So, of course, this would put him into the lead with 1 attempt remaining.
Yes, he's lighter than Georgi Markov as well, so that's again another advantage. You'd expect the Turkish coaching teams to be well organised, particularly at home, but it's been noticeable. There's been a great deal of thought and common sense in their planning. And the execution, you can't argue with that, David. 2 very good snatches.
Yeah, he's in great shape. He's in good form. Nice technician. It's interesting, the contrast in physique, though. Tall, slim, but there it is, 165.
But well suited for the snatch.
Yes, good leverage.
So he really makes the whole equation quite interesting. Now, Perepechenov, I think he'll be pretty satisfied if he can lift this 165, David.
Well, I think if he does this snatch on 165, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat because he's extremely strong in the clean and jerk. And as you can see, he's built for the clean and jerk. Huge legs, big wide back, short, stocky.
So 165. Well, this would be 5 kilos more than he achieved here in November when he totaled up 360.
That's good.
I think he's finding his rhythm and he's getting into it now. As I said right at the beginning, you know, we knew that he was very, very nervous about this tonight. But now I think
any problem with the strength. I think I was just worried that the tear on his hand would bother him, but that was really good. So looks like the old Perepechenov.
We say old, I mean he's 27, but in one sense, in weightlifting terms, he sort of burst on the scene. I mean, you know, we were, you know, sort of gasping with admiration when we first saw him last year in Trenchin.
Well, that's right. What I mean the old, I mean the Trenchin Perepechenov, because the last time he was here, he certainly wasn't at his best.
So Markov 167.5. So this would obviously regain the lead. He'd have one lift left, and so would Mehmet Yilmaz. Yilmaz the lighter. So technically Yilmaz in a good position.
But this would put Markov back into the lead.
Yeah, but only by 2.5 kilos. And more importantly, only 2.5 kilos ahead of Perepechenov. Admittedly, he still has one more lift after this, whatever happens. But you sense you're too far away from Perepechenov.
Well, that will be a popular failure with the Turks.
I was going to say, this is a perfect example of ebb and flow. Because now, at 167.5, David, a few decisions to be made here. Yilmaz, does he come out and take 167.5? Rely on the fact that he's got the lighter body weight? That would mean
it's got to be yes. It's got to be yes. Is that you can't make any other decision?
Yeah.
Because I can't see Markov coming out for 170, because that would, if he fouls, it would leave him in 162, and he's not known for his power in the clean and jerk. So
so this, we think, David, don't we? We think this is effectively the lift for the gold medal in the snatch.
If he succeeds, I'd say this is the gold medal. If he fails, then
Markov's got one more chance.
Markov's got one more chance to do it. But I just can't see Markov going for any more than 167.5. It's too risky for the overall.
Oh, what a pity. What a pity. He was so close. It just got away from him behind. Just a little but the pressure was there, David.
That's right.
The knowledge that the opportunity was there, the pressure gets to him, and suddenly the perfect technique that he'd shown in the first two, just out the back.
So the ball is back in Markov's court.
Yeah.
I think he can do this. I mean, he's done 165, weighing 69 kilos over a stone lighter.
But the man who's, you know, most broadly out of all this must be Oleg Perepechenov, who's sitting in the silver medal position at the moment, equal on kilos with Mehmet Yilmaz, and at worst, he's only going to be 2.5 kilos behind.
That's right.
So, I mean, he's the laughing boy.
And of course, he's got a 10-kilo lead over Vanev, who's also known for his clean and jerk. So
This for the gold medal in the snatch. And a lead that he really needs. He needs this to have any chance of hanging on for an overall medal.
There it is.
He's got it this time. But only time will tell whether it's going to be good enough to help him towards some more honours. Georgi Markov coming back along with his teammate Vanev. Predictably, Markov, the stronger of the two Bulgarians in the first half of the competition, and with 167.5 kilos, taking the gold ahead of Turkey's Mehmet Yilmaz and Oleg Perepechenov getting the bronze. Those two separated by their body weight, with the Turk the lighter of the two, and Kozlovskiy of Poland ending up in 4th place. Those are the facts and figures. What have we got there? 2, 6, 9 failures. So not bad lifting, actually. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it'll be highlights of the 69 kilos and this afternoon's competition. Stay with us here on Eurosport.